Today we're going to talk about a topic that may seem different, but is very important. Women who prefer anal sex and how it connects with infidelity. I am an 85-year-old lady with many stories and experiences to share. I was born in a time you might only know from books and movies. I've seen humanity achieve incredible things and also go through very difficult moments. I've lived through times of war and peace, love and loss, and I've learned a lot about people. Now I want to bring some of that wisdom to you. I know that sexual preferences can be a delicate subject, and infidelity is something that deeply hurts. But believe me, there is much we can learn from these experiences. I'll show you how communication and understanding can be the key to overcoming these difficulties and finding a stronger, healthier, my stories and experiences relationship. Before we move forward, make sure you are already subscribed to our channel. Here, we offer many videos with tips and advice on relationships and sexuality. For those over 50, our goal is to help you live a life full of love and understanding. Let's talk about women who prefer anal sex and how this connects with the issue of infidelity. You might be wondering, what does one thing have to do with the other? Let's find out together. First, we need to understand that sexual preferences are as varied as people. Some women prefer anal sex for different reasons. For some, it is a way to experience something new and exciting, adding an extra spice to their sexual life. For others, it is a matter of physical pleasure, as anal sex can. Importance of communication and understanding stimulate erogenous zones that are not as easily accessed. Otherwise, there are also those who feel a deeper emotional connection with their partners by sharing something that can be considered more intimate and reserved. Now let's talk about infidelity. Infidelity, as we all know, is a complex and painful subject. It involves betrayal, a break in trust, and often a profound feeling of loss. But what leads someone to be unfaithful? The reasons are many and varied. In some cases, people look outside the relationship for what they feel is missing within it. This could be attention, affection, understanding, or, as is often the case, a form of sexual satisfaction they are not getting with their partner. This is where we connect. Invitation to subscribe to the channel. Sexual preferences and infidelity. Imagine a couple where the woman has a strong preference for anal sex, but the partner is uncomfortable or unwilling to try this practice. This difference in sexual preferences can create a feeling of dissatisfaction when sexual desires and needs are not openly discussed or met within the relationship. The risk of seeking outside what is lacking inside increases communication is the key to preventing differences in sexual preferences from becoming a gateway to infidelity. If one partner is not willing to try something new, like anal sex, it is important that this is discussed openly and honestly. Both partners should feel free to express their desires and limits without fear of judgment or rejection. Sexual preferences. Anal sex. By creating an environment of mutual trust, the couple can find ways to satisfy their needs so that both feel happy and complete. On the other hand, it is essential to remember that infidelity is not justifiable, even if there is sexual dissatisfaction. Betraying a partner's trust can cause deep and lasting damage if you are in a situation where you feel your needs are not being met. The healthiest path is always dialogue. Try to understand what is missing and see if it is possible to find a solution together. If after many attempts, mutual satisfaction is still not achieved, it may be time to reassess the relationship, returning to the topic of anal sex. It is essential to demystify and talk openly about all consensual connection between anal sex and infidelity. Sexual practices often. What is lacking is information and communication. Some women may prefer anal sex simply because they find a level of pleasure or connection that is unique to them. This does not make them different or strange. It just highlights the diversity of human experiences. Therefore, when we talk about sexual preferences and infidelity, we see that the key lies in communication, understanding, and mutual respect. Whatever your preference, it is essential to create a space where both partners can explore and express their needs. And above all, remember that the foundation of any healthy relationship is trust and honesty. A subject that has always been present in the stories I have seen and lived is infidelity. Betrayal is something that hurts, but it reasons for sexual preferences, also teaches us about who we are and how we relate. When I was young, talking about this was a huge taboo, but I understood that behind every betrayal, there is a story full of choices and situations. I have seen people regret, ask for forgiveness, and even change for the better. After betraying, life is like that, full of lessons we only learn by living. And now, at the end of my journey, I want to share these lessons with you. Let's go together on this journey. Journey talking about infidelity and what it can teach us. Sit with me, and let's talk about how to understand and deal with this complicated part of our emotions and relationships. Infidelity is more than just betraying someone. It is a sign that something is wrong in the relationship. Infidelity, causes and impact. Often it begins before it even truly happens, deep down when we feel unsatisfied, disconnected, or neglected. I remember a young couple I met many years ago. They seemed perfect, beautiful, rich, and successful, but behind closed doors, their life was not as bright. The husband, always seeking attention outside the marriage, did not just want physical desire, but needed to be admired and desired. The wife, intelligent and loving, felt the distance between them, but was afraid to face the truth and end her perfect world. When the betrayal came to light, it was not because he confessed, but because she was the last to know. The whole community whispered, and the looks of pity and judgment meant we're overcoming relationship difficulties. Unbearable betrayal hurts a lot because it breaks the trust that sustains a relationship. My first advice: do not ignore the signs. Often they are there. Even if subtle, it could be emotional distance, excuses to stay away, or strange looks that are hard to ignore. Facing these signs can be scary, but it is better than discovering a full-blown betrayal. But remember, the fault is not just one person's infidelity. It is a tragic dance of two people who have stopped connecting. Honest communication is the best remedy. Talking about desires, fears, and frustrations can open up an understanding that prevents cracks. And if the betrayal has already happened, if you are dealing with the promotion of the digital book consequences, here is my second piece of advice. Infidelity does not have to be the end. For some couples, it is a painful but necessary awakening. I have known couples who, after the storm of betrayal, managed to build something new and stronger. This is not easy. It requires forgiveness, understanding, and commitment. A couple of friends from my youth went through this. The wife found comfort in another person during a difficult period in their marriage. The revelation was devastating, but it also served to address ignored problems. After months of pain, therapy, and difficult conversations, they managed to rebuild the relationship into something honest and sustainable. So, my dears, remember, Infidelity can be very communication and trust in the relationship. Painful, but it can also teach us a lot about ourselves and our relationships. Let's talk about this and learn together. My dears, sometimes it is important to know when to let go. This is my third piece of advice. Not all marriages can be saved after infidelity. Sometimes betrayal is the end of an already weak relationship. Other times the damage is too great. In these moments, the bravest thing can be to let go, not out of hate, but out of respect for oneself and the other. I remember my own experience with infidelity. Decades ago, my husband, the love of my youth, found comfort in another person during a difficult period. The betrayal shook me deeply, but I realized it was a symptom, not the importance of dialogue disease. Our marriage was full of silences and unmet needs. Deciding to separate was painful, but necessary. It was an act of liberation and self-affirmation. I learned that sometimes the greatest act of self-love is to walk away from what does not make us happy. This lesson has guided me through many challenges in life. And here is my last and most important piece of advice. Learn from infidelity. Whether you decide to stay together and rebuild or separate and start anew, do not let the experience go to waste. Infidelity teaches us about our needs, limits, and desires. It teaches about the importance of communication, respect, and forgiveness, personal experience with infidelity, and most importantly, it shows the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Infidelity is one of the hardest tests a relationship can face, but it is also an opportunity for growth. Take my words, born of years of experience, and use them to guide you with love, passion, and courage. You can overcome any storm and find the light again now. At the end of our conversation, I want to share the broader lessons of life that I have learned in my 85 years. Being true to yourself is the most important of all loyalties. Ask yourself what it means to be authentic. Life is short, and living it being less than we really are is a tragedy. Being true to yourself means honoring your desires, listening to your inner voice, and living according to your advice on how to deal with infidelity values and principles. Sometimes it is easy to get lost in the expectations of others and the role society gives us. But in the end, we are the ones who have to live with our choices. Betrayal hurts, and that cannot be denied. But even in the greatest pain, there is a chance to find happiness in the future. Recovering from a betrayal takes time, tears, and a lot of inner work. But it is possible. It all starts with forgiveness. And not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiving is not forgetting or excusing what happened, but freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. Find activities that are good for your soul. Stay close to people who support you, and gradually rebuild a life. The importance of forgiveness and self-esteem that is truly yours. Self-esteem is like the foundation of a house. Without it, we are vulnerable to any storm. Take care of your self-esteem as if it were a precious garden. It will take care of yourself and demand respect from others. Remember, you deserve love and respect, not for what you do or possess, but simply for who you are. Forgiving is a powerful choice. By forgiving you, not only free the other person from your anger, but also free yourself. Resentment is like a chain that ties us to the past, a poison we drink. Hoping the other person suffers true forgiveness breaks that chain and neutralizes the poison. But remember, forgiving does not always mean reconciling. Sometimes the best thing we can do for ourselves and the personal growth and resilience of the other person is to move forward separately. Life is always teaching us something new. Every day brings lessons for those who want to learn. Never stop growing. Always seek to expand your mind, challenge your beliefs, and step out of your comfort zone. Personal growth is the antidote to stagnation and complacency, and it is the path to a truly full life. Life is made of choices, and even though we cannot control everything that happens, we can always choose how to react. Choose love over fear, hope over despair, and light over darkness. And remember, no matter how long the night is, dawn always comes. May my words serve as a guide and comfort to you. Live with courage, passion, and authenticity, and at choices and reactions to infidelity. The end of your days, look back with a certainty that you lived a full and true life. I hope my words have touched your hearts and brought light to difficult moments. Remember, wisdom is not just to be heard, but to be lived. If something I said has brought you comfort, inspiration, or companionship, I invite you to join me on this journey of learning and discovery. Subscribe, participate, and keep exploring the depths of life and the human soul together. We can build a community of open hearts and minds, ready to support and grow together. To avoid missing our future conversations and advice, subscribe to the channel, give a like if you enjoyed it, and share this message with those you think will benefit from it. Each subscription and each shared message helps spread the light of wisdom a little further in this conclusion and final message world that so desperately needs it now. I say goodbye with a heart full of gratitude and hope. May your paths always be illuminated by understanding, compassion, and love. Until next time, my dears, and always remember to seek wisdom in all things with love and blessings. Your wise counselor,